So about a month ago, I reviewed a budget-friendly GPS. Well, I've got another one here for you from a brand called iGPSport. And it comes in at $179. Let's dive into all the details to see if this 630 is actually really worth it. When comparing it to my Wahoo Roam, it pretty much comes in at the exact same size. So you are going to get a nice 2.8-inch color screen. Now, this isn't the most vibrant color screen that I've ever seen, but it definitely does perform well in bright sunlight, and that is an important feature on any GPS. Now, one of my favorite parts about this GPS is that there is no touchscreen. With this one, you are going to get several buttons. Over here on this side, you are going to get a power button. Also, it utilizes that as a back button in the menu system. Over here, you are going to get a select button. This will help you navigate through your screens. And then you're going to get some up and down buttons to be able to switch between all of your pages or navigate the menu system. On the bottom, you're going to get a start and pause button. And then over on the other side, you will get a lap button. And then if we take a look on the back, you are going to get a nice Garmin style mount. Now this is in the same direction of a Garmin. It's not the same direction as a Wahoo computer. As you can see, the Wahoo computers are up and down and the Garmin computers are side to side. Now, right underneath the mount is a USB-C port that is concealed behind a rubber flap. Now, this whole computer is IPX7 certified, so you can take this out in a pretty heavy downpour. Now, just like most other computers, this is an all plastic design with a plastic screen. Now, one thing I thought was pretty cool is that they do supply a screen protector that can just fit right on top of here. You can just pop this on, and if you get any scratches on it, you can peel it off and then replace it. Now, to turn this on, we're just simply gonna hit this button right over here, which is also the return button. You just hold it, and then it will turn on. It takes a few seconds to boot up. This computer is surprisingly pretty quick to boot up. You saw the splash screen, and then now we are into the menu. From here, you could just go ahead and hit the play pause button, and that will take you right in here. As you can see, it's looking for a GPS signal. It really does find GPS fairly quickly, and I think that's because this thing can use up to 5 different satellite technologies. And if I'm honest with you, I haven't even ever heard of half of these. I've heard of GPS, and I believe you pronounce it as Glognos. The other ones I haven't ever heard of. So this thing can tap into several different satellites, not only to speed up the process of finding satellites, but also to give you super accurate data. And this is gonna be really important whenever you use the navigation feature. You can load in your routes. And how you actually load routes into this is super simple. You download their app. Once you've downloaded the app and you've got your computer connected up to it, it's really simple. Here's an example of how I do this on my iPhone. I simply download the GPX file to my files folder. I navigate to that, I click on it, and then I click the share sheet button. Once I've got the share sheet pulled up on my iPhone, I can simply just find the iGPSport app, click on it, and then it instantly pulls me into the app and starts the download process. From there, I'm able to rename it and save it. Then I can also navigate directly from that, or I can send it to my device. And then once it's on your device, it's really easy to navigate to where you can start a route at any time. Once you're on one of these screens, you can hit this button right over here. This will take you into a menu screen. As you can see, this is gonna be the navigation option. We're gonna go ahead and select that again. And then you've got a couple of different options here. If we scroll down, you should see routes. Then you can select that. And then from there, you can choose all the different routes you have. We'll just scroll down to this one here. Now it's loading the route. It pulls up the route and it gives you kind of an outline of what your route is gonna look like. Now, something that I find really cool about this that you can't do on my Wahoo Roam is that I can choose different ride modes. Now, whenever I'm in these ride modes, if I go into it, I can then choose all the different standard types of riding. You've got road, commute, tour, and then one I created was MTB. You can scroll down to the option if your option isn't quite there, and you can actually add a new one. So if you do all kinds of different riding, you can load up these different profiles, and each one of these profiles can have individual screens themselves. This will work with Ant Plus and Bluetooth, So if you have a speed sensor, a cadence sensor, a heart rate sensor, maybe a radar, or if you're using Di2 or any other electronic shifting, you can hook it up to this and be able to see all those different stats. Now, one thing I really liked is that there were a lot of already pre-set up pages whenever I added the mountain bike profile. As you can see, there's quite a few right here. You can pick and choose what pages you want to show, and then you can also add to those pages. And here's just a few examples of the stuff that I've got on my particular setup for mountain biking. Now, I don't use hardly any of these screens, but they are there, so if I do want to use them or if I want to customize them even more, I can. I like the fact that I can have a lot of information on the screen, or I can have a little bit of information on the screen. This particular setup is the maximum number of items you can have on a screen. So if you're a data junkie and you want to have as many stats at your fingertips, well, this GPS definitely offers that. Now, one of my favorite screens you get to from the main menu, you just tap this, you're gonna get all kinds of really good information. You're gonna get sunrise and sunset information. You're also gonna get the current temperature. You can go in and change some settings really quick, whether you want the display to auto dim or you wanna control it yourself. You can customize your current elevation, so you can adjust that if it's not quite correct. And then you can also add and remove sensors directly from the screen. But one of my favorite features is this weather information. Whenever you connect this up to the app, it'll actually give you all the weather information that you would need. The current wind, the current temperature, and the percentage of rain. Then you can scroll down to this and you can enter into this menu and it will show you the hourly information. And then also down at the bottom, the very last menu is going to give you all of your notifications that would come in from your phone. Now, one feature that I think is going to be really important for those rainy days or cold winter days is the indoor training option. You can scroll down to your ride type and you can basically select the indoor trainer. What's really cool about this is you can either do a predefined workout or you can load a previous route that you've ridden before, and the GPS will send the information for that route to your trainer and they'll talk back and forth. That way your smart trainer can actually simulate the route that your GPS has stored on it. So for my testing on this, I have found that this has been working really well. The battery life seems to be really good. They claim on battery saving mode that you can get around 35 hours. And honestly, the maps feature on this is pretty rock solid. I decided to test this in a more tricky situation than what I would typically test it in, and that was a single track trail system for mountain biking. I loaded up a 4-mile loop on a trail system that is known for having a lot of tree coverage and a lot of twists and turns. Now, I knew the trail system, but I wasn't 100% sure exactly where the route went. So loading it up on here was gonna be its ultimate test. I zoomed in to where I could see the map really clearly for any turns coming up. And sure enough, for that entire 4-mile loop, this thing didn't turn me the wrong direction one bit. It was 100% clear which direction to go. There was a nice clear blue line to follow. You could see the triangle that represented me. And honestly, I was pretty surprised at how well it did considering the tree coverage that's on this trail system. So for $179 with a $20 coupon right now on Amazon, I'm really surprised at how good these inexpensive models are these days. These seem to be really advanced for the price that they're selling them at. Now for longevity and durability, I'm not really sure how that's gonna go. We're just gonna have to see as I use this thing over the summer to see if it holds up overall. This GPS really isn't missing any feature that I would be looking for on a GPS. In fact, it has more than what I would probably ever use. So let me know what you guys think of these budget-friendly models, or do you have this particular model? And if you do, what do you think of it? Let everybody know in the comments below if you have one of these and your experience with it. I've got some links down below. You can check them out there. I'll also add some links to the accessories that they offer. But as always, get out there and ride your bike.